Yo! Perfidious Pete here, ready to go into full Ezio mode and Assassin's Creed the shit out of some poor hapless bastard who's just trying to get in his car and go get a burger at Carl's Jr. in XCOM, The Long War 2. Hopefully, though, this goes better than any assassination that Ezio ever tried to pull off, because, let's face it, as assassins go, Ezio, he's kind of a klutz, man. I mean, the guy is, I don't have a lot good to say about him. I really don't. His go-to method is to just walk right up to his target in the middle of a crowd of bodyguards and then shank him in the neck with his little pokey wrist knife thing. Hey, Ezio, you have, like, guns and bombs and, at worst, a freaking bow and arrow. Why not set a trap or shoot the guy while he's taking a dump or just plant an arrow in his dome from a nearby convenient rooftop? Why do you always have to make it so up and close and personal, bro? A good assassin is calm. They're cool. They're detached, most importantly. A good assassin, Ezio, doesn't need to taste the blood spraying from their victim's mouth as they gasp their dying breath or try and catch a glimpse of that last spark of life if it fades from their victim's eyes. That's all I'm asking for, Ezio, is just a little comportment. Also, I'm completely wrong because it looks like we won't be going to shoot a guy in the dome, which is what I thought we were going to do. Instead, we're going to do Operation Enduring Fog here, which is to go hack a resistance computer. So, that's great. Also, if you're wondering, hey, Pete, how come you sound a little bit like Christian Bale from Batman? Turns out Pete has a pretty bad case of strep throat, and it got down into my vocal cords, so, you know, I sound like this for the foreseeable future. It's lovely. Actually, I'm lying. It's quite the opposite of lovely. In fact, it kind of really sucks a whole bunch. But it does let me do a sweet Batman impression. So you know what? Let's launch this mission because I am the night. Also, if gameplay is periodically interrupted by like a coughing jag and whatnot, well, you know why. For instance, that moment of silence that you just heard there was actually me muting my mic while I cleared my throat and snorted a giant wad of phlegm down the back of it. It was delightful. We're going to Patrol Zone 18. It's on the outskirts of Ibadan. It's not quite Gotham City, but it'll do. The Batman voice, when you've got strep throat in your vocal cords, it turns out, is remarkably easy to do. I think that's actually how they shot those scenes with Christian Bale. They just held him down and injected streptococcus bacteria into his vocal cords and said, okay, now just talk. He was like, I sound like this now. You'll never take Rachel away from me. She's mine forever, even though she clearly loves another dude. Alfred, go get me a fucking beer. Pete, you should respond with a Michael Caine impression, like Michael Caine as Alfred. I would love to, but it would hurt a lot, because I am talking here, but this is Perfidious Pete playing through the pain a little bit, because talking is currently quite painful, actually, quite painful. So we got Joe Brand, and we got Bob Angel, the Newhart, Bob Newhart, the Angel. Newhart is actually, with his Ghostwalker ability, a reasonable option to go for the hack here. The only problem we have is somebody... Yeah, well, that's not good. We do need somebody to throw the flare, and that's going to take 6 freaking turns. That's a long time. The question is, do we think that Joe Brand has a better chance of getting into hack the device and getting away safe? Or do we think Bob Newhart is our go-to boy? I'm a little torn. Like a Natalie Imbruglia tune here. Joe Brand is faster. That's what Joe Brand has for us. And what you might be seeing here, hey Pete, I see some new icons on the map. In case you missed like a last episode or two, playing with a new mod here. It is, well, it's not a new mod. It's actually a rework of an existing mod. I'm playing with Gotcha Again, which is an updated version of the Gotcha mod. It's got some more functionality, some features that I really, really like a lot. And more importantly, it's got more accurate information as far as cover and flank shots and whatnot. So what we're really looking for here is a place where we can hole up. So there are 2 fairly powerful pods right over here. Batman doesn't like these odds. By the way, I'm going to be, as long as I've got this strep throat thing going, man, I'm really going to be milking the Christian Bale bit. So, you know, hunker down. What we're actually looking for here, though, is just a place where we can go and maybe drop the flare without getting exposed. Because 6 turns, man. It's going to be 6 turns. On the plus side, though, you know, that's... Maybe we can just come... Maybe we just have Bob Newhart come back here into this building, stand at the back of the zone, and chuck it out the window. Because we do want it to try and be close to Joe Brand. This is looking like we got a pretty reasonable tile set here. I think we can do this. So open this door, Bob. The only problem we're gonna have with this method is these indoor. There's like definitely no aliens in this room. We're good. Everything's clear. Batman's got this shit under control. Don't even worry about it. Like I said, hunker down, because, I'm going to be doing it a lot. So Joe Brand pops this door.
We're near the objective.
Well, that's beautiful. Can you get in there without, like, sounding the alarm? Okay, so let's have Joe Brand come over here. Now, okay. Yeah, that's actually real bad, Joe Brand. So here's the thing, we definitely can't make a move on it this turn, and in fact, I'm going to fall back to here. Our mod will tell us now when we're going to activate a pod, in addition to telling us when we're going to get spotted. If we're going to wander, if we're unconcealed, and we're going to wander into a pod's field of vision, this mod will notify us that that's going to happen, but it will only do so if we can see the pod. It just gives us information about when they're going to activate. It doesn't allow us to know things we ordinarily would not know. Let's remove Bob Newhart over here. We should have moved Bob first so that we could have got one more turn on the timer. Yeah, see, this is what I was worried about. Worst case scenario, we can have Joe Brand ghost walk right up behind this thing because she can do it, but what I'd really rather do is just wait and see if that doesn't clear out. So, Bobby boy, here's your job. Get the evac out and get it out as close as you can to Miss Brand. Just like here. And then Bob Newhart is just going to be right. He's going to stay right where he's at. In fact, Bob Newhart, I want you to move further away from the enemy into a corner, and I want you on Overwatch. 5 turns for evac, 5 turns till shutdown. I don't see any compelling reason to take any kind of risks by moving Joe Brand, although this squad was headed this way. I do want to still be where I could get to this in 1 turn, but I think we can also do that from over here. We'll put Joe on Overwatch just in case. And if we need to, we can go full Batman. Batman is smart enough to know that he who fights and runs away is he who lives to fight another day. The problem is when we hack this pod is definitely going to see us. Okay, so Bob Newhart. Okay, here's what I'm talking about. See, if we move to this pot right here, Bob Newhart is going to get spotted. In fact, if Bob Newhart moves at all, unless he goes in this building, Bob Newhart is going to get spotted. So we're going to open this door. Can we get in here without getting spotted? Yes, Bob Newhart, slip in here, because I'm worried these guys might step over around you. So there you see this in action. Like if we now you see how it changes. Now that we don't have eyes on that pod, we can't see that enemy. We don't know its detection radius currently because we can't see it. I really, really like that. Joe Brand, I really just want you on Overwatch. Bob, Overwatch as well, just in case. Man, this place is swarming with dudes. Normally, that's nothing but a positive for Perfidious P. I like my places swarming with dudes, but this is maybe a little more than I'm prepared to handle. We could ghost walk in, but as soon as we hack the thing, Joe Brand is straight up busted. And also completely freaking surrounded. Yeah, this is bad. I mean, Joe Brand can come in here and hack the thing. She activates every pod on the map and then is immediately killed. Don't really relish that plan. When evac arrives, will she be able to make it? Where's the flare? Flare is underneath this pole. So Joe Brand from her current position can make evac in 1 turn once it arrives. I think we wait. I do have like something we could do with Bob too, though. Bob needs vision on the terminal in order to hack it, which he could get from this tile. He would activate, I think, 2 pods to move to there and then be flanked. That's real bad. You can also see it from here. Can't see it from there. What about over here? So he could see it from this tile. If we get down to like 1 turn, what we might do is try to have Bob dash out, hack this, hold up for 1 turn, and then sprint for evac. That's our emergency scenario if everything goes wrong. We would love Bob to be able to move and hack it in the same turn, though. Alright, we take us. Well, Bob is revealed, though. No, we're gonna have to wait. If we come out here, we almost certainly spawn a pod. We would want Joe Brand from the cover or safety of concealment to try and reveal that for us first. Okay, so I need this pod to move away. They're just gonna circle it. Alright, so the Joe Brand hack is out then. Joe Brand is never gonna be able to pull this off. So what we need Joe Brand doing then is being... These guys are gonna converge. This mission may just... We boosted it too, though. This mission just may not be doable. We can get Joe Brand in here, but there's no way she makes it out alive. She cannot make the exit from there in a single move, especially after she was hacked it. This is going to trigger like 3 pods. I'm actually tempted to ghost walk in case these guys come this way, but instead I'm going to overwatch. Joe Brand does have vision on the street, though. So what we can use her for is to tell us when Bob Newhart, like how many pods he's going to activate. Yeah, 2, one of which contains a Viper. Bob Newhart would have to move now. And this says Bob doesn't activate a pod moving to there, but he absolutely would. Is there anywhere else that activates a pod? Plus we know there's a Muton and crew over here. The network shuts down in 1 turn, and with a blue move, we are not going to be able to get Bob Newhart into a position where he can hack that terminal. Can't do it. Okay, it's either going to be Joe Brand or no one. Scanning. Oh, those guys have moved away. That's useful. We could have Joe hack it and then try and run for cover. What it's really going to depend on is how many pods Joe Brand spawns while doing that. Those guys would still definitely see Joe.
Menace 1-5, the Advent network terminal is shutting down. This is your last chance to secure the data.
Okay, so what we could do is have Joe Brand ghost walk. Hack the terminal. Where could she run that would be safe? Those guys will definitely spot her. Even if she's ghost walking, those guys are going to be active. These guys are going to be active, and potentially one other pod would also be active. Activate Ghost Walk.
Hidden away.
And Joe Brand will not be able to make it, so she has to move after she does this. Where would Joe Brand's best position of cover be? I don't suppose you could get to the... she could get to the roof, actually. We could run her back here, get her to the rooftop. From the rooftop, would she be able to make it in a single turn? Almost certainly not. Well, maybe. It would be close. We definitely don't want to be over there. Should be flanked there. That's bad. Could put her over here behind this soda machine, but that's poor cover. But it might be the best. All right, we got to try. I very much am regretting. Batman regrets having spent intel on this mission. Probably shouldn't have done it. Watch list. Reduces the contact. We could really use this watch list. Come on, Joe. Give it. Okay. Bob Newhart could have got it. Just saying. Newhart would have got the job done. So this activates 2 pods. Yep. There's one. Their scamper moves are going to be interesting. And now these guys may actually get to take surprise shots at Joe Brand, which is straight up horseshit. And now we have to try to find a place for Joe Brand where she will not be flanked from literally every direction. And it looks like this is going to be the only game in town. Is this a window? Yep, if those Vipers are over here, she's still going to be flanked. That's bad. This would be half cover from every direction, but that guy would just hit us with a grenade. We're flanked there. God, what I wouldn't give for one more tile of movement here. We'll get flanked from there. I really don't think we're half cover from this many guys, though. That's terrible. If we knew what was out here, if we just knew what was there, I would risk it. The other thing we could do is have Bob Newhart step to this corner. And see what this hack bonus is, but my problem is, what if this is the move that... What if this activates the pod of Vipers? Actually, can you see that thing from inside the house anywhere, Bob? You can see it from, like, right here. It just leaves you no cover. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have Bob Newhart step to here. Worst possible outcome, actually. When it rains, it pours. Bob Newhart is screwed. Okay, let's... I don't know what video feed is. I think it's squad sight for some pointless number of turns. Soldier vision increased by 2. Squad dodge increased by 33% for 2 turns. Well, no, because we can't afford to risk having Bob Newhart fail and call down reinforcements. So let's not do that. Instead, we're going to have Bob Newhart... Can you get anywhere that's just completely out of line of sight, Bob? Yes, and you'll still be able to make evac next turn. I'm sorry, Bob. You kind of screwed the pooch on this one, champ. And Joe Brand. Well, now these guys have something else to worry about that isn't Joe Brand, so I mean, there's that. There is a Viper active, though, and he can just tongue grab us out of cover, which is also bad. And we didn't improve our defensive position any whatsoever. If we stand here, we get flank shot by a sectoid for sure through that window. Probably by that grenadier as well. We have all kinds of options. All of them are bad. Let's just try and cut down line of sight to as many enemies as possible. We want to try and make as many of them as we can move. Okay, we're poisoned. It's fine. This guy's probably going to grenade us and destroy our cover. Oh, suppressing us. The poison as the first move from the enemies, it sounds crazy. That's actually useful for us because it gives us enhanced defense. We're going to be harder to hit as a result. See, 32%. Joe Brand staying strong. Come on, girl, hold on. Evac is almost here.
This is Firebrand. It's time to go.
Okay, Joe Brand took 1 damage, but it's not actual damage. And her suppression should make this Shadow Walk... Shadow Step should be not an issue. Yes, I know this is going to poison Joe Brand, but she's already poisoned. Why wear a raincoat when you're already wet? Why wear a batsuit when you've already got one?
What was that?
Oh, it's fine, Joe Brand. You're the greatest ninja who has ever lived. And you're also safely on board the evac. Goods in hand. This has been a great exfiltration, Pete. Not even Batman himself could have done it better. The world's greatest detective applauds you. So good. Bob Newhart. He's on the bail. We did it. See you in hell, Advent. Suck a dong.
All surviving XCOM operators.
Things didn't go perfectly, but things went just well enough. I wonder if the poison still makes Joe Brand... No, we got the flawless. I was curious if poison damage would cut through our protective plate, but apparently the plate is protection against poison and acid. We got that Corporal Hicks from Aliens thing going on. The alien spit acid on it, but most of us just burned our armor, and we just ripped it off once we got back into the what was it, UPC? You're down, Ripley. You're just grinding metal. Most under fire, move the furthest. I appreciate the fact that that guy spit some non-damaging poison at us to give us a little bit of extra cover bonus inside the poison fog. That was nice of you, Viper. It's pretty rare that a Viper does a good turn for you, but once in a while, they'll help you out a little. It was a Batman Xanatos gambit. If he was smart, though, he would have just tongue grabbed us, because that would have been the instant death of Joe Brand. Take what you can get. Sometimes you catch the breaks, sometimes you don't. This time, we caught a break. Okay, this is Long War 2. You don't catch the breaks, but once in a while, the sun shines on a dog's ass. Batman's never understood that saying. Technically, anytime a dog's outside, the sun is shining on its ass. Why is that dog special? Bob Newhart looks really downtrodden, even though he completely pulled off a successful mission here. And even with the boost, I think gained us a positive, yeah, it was a net gain of intel. We're up to 140. which is almost enough to make contact with our next region. That's pretty good. Let's go take a look at what... I think our XCOM mission then is coming up. We do still have our headquarters assault, but this one's still cooking. We got 17 more %. Where is... Yeah, the annoyance is working on a neutralized target, which I think is maybe our next mission? They're at 100... They have 1 day, 9 hours. I'm thinking the second city is going to be probably longer. Still swarming activity. Readiness is vulnerable. Pete, it's going to be swarming no matter what. Don't you think I know that? I'm the world's greatest detective. I know how many enemies are going to be there. But there are levels of swarming, and with the extra infiltration, we are slightly reducing the total enemy count. But more importantly, the other thing we're reducing is our evac timer, so if shit goes horribly wrong, we can bail a little bit earlier. Do we want to grind out? Let's grind out a little time here and figure out what our next mission is going to be. We'll scan up here in West Africa. Advent strength up to 2. Got a new target acquired. Batman can find any target. Hack the workstation in Advent facility. This lets us find a lead, 32 intel and an intel package, 7 days, 20 hours. This seems familiar. Call me crazy. I think what we're going to do is send in the exact same team who just pulled off the greatest infiltration of all time, which I think was the Groundlings. Yeah. Well, back at it, Groundlings. No rest for the wicked. They're going to be able to get a 200% infiltration on this one, which should make that easy peasy lemon squeezy style good. Batman likes a little lemon in his tea. Also, Pete, you know what? Lemon tea would be great for your throat. Batman is full of useful advice today. So we're at 148. That's gone up by 2%. So this will probably get to 200 before that one does. Okay, infiltrated must launch or abort. Okay. We're going to escape out of this and go back to the Avenger. And that's going to be our mission then next time. We're right up against it. That'll be what we're going to do. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to drop a like down in the comment section. Of course, your support does really mean a lot. And if you'd like to hear more of my strep throat inspired Batman impression, but who doesn't? I am the Night, Pete. Everybody loves me. You might consider subscribing as well, because for like the next week, this I'm told this is what you're going to get. I'm going to sound like this for like the next 7 days. So enjoy. Right now, though, I'm going to go try a little bit of that lemon tea. I'll have Alfred whip us up a batch and maybe some biscuits and like lemon squares too. Sounds lovely, Batman. Thanks very much for watching. We're going down to the Batcave. I'll see you again soon.